Hey guys, Stephen Bogren here from Pro Physique, and today I'm talking about reverse dieting.
My name is Steven, and this is our video about health and fitness things. And I work for Pro Physique, and I am just a guy with a fitness thing for you.
Hey everybody, I hope you are all having a great day so far. Ooh, reverse dieting. You know, the goal is always to try and simplify something that is difficult or challenging or comprehensive down to something that is easy to understand. And the reason that I say that is because the easier something is, the easier it is to be successful. And with that, I think it's very, very important that everybody recognizes how freaking difficult the reverse diet can be. This idea that, hey, we are done with our diet, but still dieting, right? We're still being adherent to hard numbers. We're still working our way up. We probably still have hunger signaling there. We're probably still pretty hungry. We probably still have cardio to do and not a ton of motivation to do it, particularly for those of us that might not love doing cardio. So this idea of the reverse diet can be quite challenging. And so the first thing that I want to discuss today is that if it's tough, that's okay. It's tough for most of us. It's tough for me. As I record this, guess what? I'm reverse dieting. Today is 1 week post-show for me. Now, there are some things that we can do to make that easier, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. So understanding that most of us are not perfect. I am not perfect. The goal is consistency over time, the same as anything else. So we want to strive to be as consistent with it as possible. And understand that if our goals, our numbers aren't realistic, we need to probably change those up and find something that's realistic for us to do. That's going to be different for everybody. There are some ways to make the reverse more realistic though. And so I think that this is one of those really important things that we talk about because yes, it's hard, but we can make it less challenging. And so the first thing that I think that makes reversing less challenging is to not look at the habits we've been doing as diet habits or prep habits. The reason why I say that is oftentimes as soon as we're done with our diet, we're done with our prep, we've made it to X weight, we've gotten off stage, our season is done, whatever it might be, it is very easy for us to say, okay, everything that we've been doing, we're now gonna start doing things very differently. So all the stuff that helped make us successful in terms of sticking to the cardio regimens, the dietary restrictions, in terms of calorie restriction stuff, those kind of things, we're now kind of throwing out the window. That can make it harder to be successful. It's much easier for us to be successful if we still, at least in the most parts, stick to food choices that helped us to be successful. The same things that kept us full and satiated and able to manage calories during our diet are the same things that are going to help us to be full, satiated, and keep calories manageable as we're reversing. I know it can be very tempting to really just kind of start reincorporating all the things that we feel like we've missed out on. My challenge would be reincorporate maybe some of them in moderation. Hey, Stephen, you get one pumpkin cookie today, right? Guess what? I'm still getting a pumpkin cookie. However, most of my diet has stayed pretty similar. I'm still eating the same lean proteins. I'm still eating a lot of granola and granola bars. I still do my same egg white or egg substitute scramble in the morning. The things that kept me successful in my dieting phase, in my dieting season, right? I don't know why I did this, are the same things that are gonna keep me successful as I'm building calories back up and bringing that cardio back down. Well, Stephen, how do you prioritize doing the cardio? The same way I did before. I wake up a little bit early, I get a chunk of it done on my treadmill at home, and then I do the rest either after my workout or later on in the day, so it's not quite so much. It's not so overbearing if I only have 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get done later on in the day. doesn't keep me up, it doesn't create issues with sleep. It's manageable. So those same habits, the same things that I did while I was dieting, while I was prepping, while I was, pushing my body to the limits in terms of how lean can I get here, those same habits help me to be successful all the time. So my first challenge is to not necessarily look at your dieting habits as only dieting habits. Begin looking at those as lifestyle habits. The things that we can do to be successful in terms of maybe our body composition, our fitness goals, our health goals, whatever it might be. Healthy food choices are healthy food choices for a reason. It doesn't mean that an Oreo is bad or that pizza is bad, but only eating Oreos and pizzas are bad, right? Probably not the best thing for us in terms of nutrient diversity and fiber intake. So hey, guess what? Even when my calories are higher, I still want to make sure I'm getting fruits and vegetables in my diet. I still want to make sure that I'm focusing on lean proteins. And I want to make sure that I'm doing the right things to have my nutrient goals met. They're life habits. So that's number one. Number two is having a goal. What goal that might be is going to depend on each and every person. Your goal may be to put maybe some more weight on initially and then slow that down. For others, their goal might be to be maintaining at a leaner body composition, which means maybe we really try to control that process a little bit more because that can be very difficult. Maybe your goal is I want to squat X amount of pounds. Maybe your goal is to run a half marathon. Whatever it might be, we had goals during the diet that helped us to stay adherent and successful. Having goals post-diet, post-weight loss, can also help keep us adherent and successful, especially for things like weight class sports and athletics. Powerlifting is a really popular one. Well, guess what? We compete in a weight class. So having that weight class idea to kind of hold on to in terms of, well, I want to stick semi-close to my weight class, that gives us kind of a top end of where we want to work to. If we want to get back on stage again, okay, what's an appropriate amount of weight for us to gain post-show and still feel good, have our body be healthy, feel good in our skin, of course, be confident, and not be so far away that it's going to be too difficult to get to the stage conditioning for the next competition. All these things can be super beneficial. Having some set goal. What is next? Okay, how much weight do I want to put on per month? What is a good rate of gain for me as an individual? Of course, for females, cycle retention, like getting our cycle back if we have lost it. Another really important thing. How do we manage that? How do we go about that? What does that timeline and goal look like? Oftentimes what happens is we hit this reversing period, this phase, and we leave it very wide open, which can be a great thing. It can be very good to have this kind of idea of moderation, of finding, where that balance is for yourself and enjoying all the things. However, if we've come out of a very aggressive diet or a contest prep, we might not quite be ready for that. It might be better for us to work our way into that moderation, right? Get calories up so we have maybe a little bit higher of a maintenance point to where, okay, now working in a free meal is a little bit more realistic. It's now more viable for us based on how much we're doing and how much we're intaking. Now having an untracked day is maybe a little bit more viable as hunger signaling is more realistic and in check with our calorie needs. So going directly into those things and really jumping both feet first might not be the best decision based on whether or not you care about how much body fat regain you're trying to control or allow. And understanding that those goals, those timelines, can sometimes be beneficial. It's not always that we can put a hard timeline on everything. Some things take time and it's individually dependent, and hey, maybe we don't quite know. So still having the goal, having some kind of structure around that goal can be helpful. The reason why those goals are helpful is day in, day out, now maybe we can feel like we're winning. Or, I wasn't perfect, but I'm still within my weight gain goal. So it was still a good week. Beautiful. These things help us to have a little bit more give within some of these things as we work towards that moderation approach of lifestyle and what that means for us, especially as we are coming out of something that can be very, very structured, something like a hard diet or a prep. So making sure that you're being open and honest with yourself. And then of course, lastly, making sure that you understand no one is perfect. None of us. We all struggle with still being hungry. We all struggle with not wanting to necessarily do the cardio, with probably energy levels being low, and a whole slew of the other things that come along with being post-diet and low body fat. So understanding that it is okay to feel that way. You don't have to always feel motivated to get it done. We all are in that same boat to some degree at some point. So understanding that that is normal. We don't necessarily want to use that as an excuse to just overeat in abundance and put on a ton of body fat, but understanding that we do all struggle. No matter how many times we've done it, no matter how well we've done it, we will all struggle at some point in time. So giving yourself some understanding and grace within that, also very important. So I'm gonna leave it there, y'all. I hope you have a great day. I hope these help, as a lot of us are reversing and getting ready for the holidays. Have a great one, y'all.